The city of Nova Arc was alive with light and motion. Towering skyscrapers with glassy surfaces shimmered in the sun, reflecting 1,000 colors, while skykars hummed through the air, carrying humans and aliens alike. Lyra, a young alien from the Lumini species, stepped off the shuttle with a mixture of excitement and nervousness. She was about to start her first day at Stellartrans Logistics, one of the largest interstellar shipping companies in the sector. Lyra's species was unique. Her skin glowed faintly in soft patterns, like shifting lights on a screen, which changed with her emotions. Her eyes, large and reflective, could see subtle wavelengths humans could not. But these differences made her an easy target for the curiosity and cruelty of others. As she walked through the massive entrance of the logistics hub, she tried to steady herself. The hall was filled with humans and aliens of all shapes and sizes. Some moved quickly with confidence. Others were busy shouting orders to drones or checking holographic displays. Lyra adjusted her identification badge, feeling the subtle vibrations of her glow patterns as she sensed tension around her. It didn't take long for her to notice the whispers. "Look at her lights again," said a tall human male with sharp features, smirking. "She looks like a walking disco ball." Lyra's glow flickered nervously, a natural response to fear. She kept her head down and walked faster. A group of her coworkers, mostly human and a few other alien species, exchanged glances and chuckled. Her assigned desk was near the corner of the main hall. She set down her bag, carefully smoothing her uniform. The metal surface reflected her subtle glow, and for a moment she felt a pang of self-consciousness. That's when Captain Elias, her boss, appeared. He was a tall human with kind eyes and a calm demeanor. Unlike the others, he didn't glance at her glow or make a joke. Instead, he offered a warm smile. "Good morning, Lyra," he said. "I'm glad you're here. Let's make sure you feel comfortable and start you off on the right foot." Lyra blinked. It was rare to hear someone speak to her without judgment. She bowed slightly, a gesture of respect in her culture, and said softly, "Thank you, Captain Elias. I will do my best." Elias nodded. "I know you will. Follow me, and I'll introduce you to the team." As they walked, Lyra tried to focus on the tasks at hand. The team she would work with was a mix of humans and aliens, each specialized in logistics operations. Some handled cargo routing, others monitored interstellar tracking, and a few managed security drones. The introductions were polite but short. Several coworkers exchanged skeptical glances at Lyra's glowing patterns. One even made a low, sarcastic whistle. Lyra's glow flickered again, slightly brighter this time, a mix of embarrassment and anxiety. "Don't mind them," Elias said quietly as he guided her to her desk. "They're used to doing things their way, but I've seen your records, you're talented. Let's focus on what you can do." Lyra felt a small spark of hope. Maybe this job wasn't going to be as terrible as she feared. Her first task was simple but important. Review the shipment manifests for a batch of rare interstellar minerals arriving from the mining colony on Zyria 5. Lyra quickly scanned the data, her eyes noticing patterns humans often overlooked. Her species, perception allowed her to detect discrepancies in timing and routing that could delay shipments. She raised a concern to her supervisor, a middle-aged human named Janek, who barely looked at her screen before waving dismissively. "We'll handle it. Stick to the basics." Lyra's glow dimmed slightly. She had expected skepticism, but it stung anyway. Still, she quietly noted the errors and ran simulations in the background. By mid-morning, a minor crisis erupted. One of the shipments had been misrouted, heading toward a restricted asteroid field rather than the hub. Panic spread among the staff as they scrambled to reroute drones and vehicles. Lyra's mind worked quickly. She realized that if she suggested a solution, she could prevent a disaster. Elias approached her desk. "Lyra, do you see any way to fix this?" Lyra hesitated. She knew her coworkers were watching and could ridicule her if she was wrong. But she took a deep breath and said, "Yes, Captain. If we adjust the trajectory using the secondary pulse channels, we can redirect the shipment safely. It will require careful timing, but it's possible." Elias studied her, his expression thoughtful. "Go ahead, make it happen." Lyra's fingers moved across the interface, adjusting coordinates and rerouting drones. The shipment followed her calculations precisely. Within minutes, the crisis was averted. Several coworkers muttered in disbelief, while others remained silent, unsure how to react. Elias placed a hand on her shoulder. "Well done, Lyra. That was impressive." Lyra's glow shifted to a soft, calm pattern, a sign of relief and pride. She dared a small smile. "Thank you, Captain." Despite this small victory, the day was far from easy. During lunch, she tried to join a group of coworkers. They gave polite nods at first, but soon one of them, a human named Trent, made a joke about her glow. Others laughed, some sneering, some whispering insults. Lyra quietly returned to her desk, choosing to eat alone rather than endure their ridicule. She glanced at Elias, who noticed her isolation. He offered a reassuring nod. "You're doing fine, Lyra. Don't let them get to you. Focus on what you do best." The rest of the afternoon passed in a mix of minor tasks and quiet observation. Lyra noticed that while some coworkers continued to mock her behind her back, they hesitated to openly challenge her expertise when Elias was around. His presence acted as a shield. By the end of the day, Lyra was exhausted but also exhilarated. She had survived her first day, solved a critical problem, and received genuine praise from her boss, the first person who truly saw her worth. As she prepared to leave, Elias stopped her. "Lyra, tomorrow we'll start on a new project. It's a bit more complex, but I think you're ready. Get some rest. You'll need it." Lyra nodded, her glow softening in gratitude. "I will, Captain, thank you." She stepped outside into the city again. The lights of Nova Arc glimmered, reflecting in her eyes. She realized that while many in this city might not understand her, there was one human who did. That thought gave her a small but powerful sense of hope. As the shuttle carried her home, Lyra's mind wandered to the challenges ahead. She knew the bullying would continue, that proving herself would take patience and courage. But for the first time, she felt capable. She wasn't just an outsider. She was someone with talent, intelligence, and the quiet support of a human who believed in her. And maybe, just maybe, she could show everyone that being different was not a weakness. It was a strength. Her glow pulsed gently as she drifted off to sleep that night, a soft promise to herself that tomorrow she would face the hub again and she would shine. The morning sun barely touched the glass towers of Nova Arc when Lyra stepped off the shuttle again. Her first day had been a mix of hope and anxiety, and now, as she walked towards Stellartran's logistics, her heart raced with anticipation. Today, her boss, Captain Elias, had promised to assign her to a more complex project, one that could either prove her worth or expose her to more ridicule. As she entered the hub, the familiar buzz of activity greeted her. Skykars zipped overhead, drones hummed in synchronized patterns, and holographic displays flashed with shipment data. Lyra's glow pulsed softly, a reflection of her nervous energy. She adjusted her uniform and moved toward her workstation. Almost immediately, she noticed the stares. Some coworkers whispered behind her, their expressions a mixture of skepticism and jealousy. Lyra ignored them, focusing instead on her interface, where shipment routes and delivery schedules blinked in precise order. "Good morning, Lyra," Elias said, his voice calm and steady, cutting through the noise. "Ready for today's assignment?" Lyra nodded. "Yes, Captain, I'm ready," Elias smiled. "We're starting with the Interstellar Fleet Rerouting Project. Some ships are behind schedule, and we need to optimize routes to avoid collisions and delays. You'll work with the human and alien teams to coordinate this. Don't worry, I'll guide you through it." The task was daunting. Ships moved at incredible speeds, and the slightest miscalculation could cause massive delays, or worse, accidents. Lyra's species had an innate sense of spatial awareness, and her eyes could detect subtle changes in movement patterns. She felt confident that she could help, but she also knew her coworkers might not take her seriously. The first meeting of the day brought the team together. Humans and aliens crowded around a central holographic table, each with their own data streams. Lyra felt a flicker of nervousness as she introduced herself again. "Good morning," she said softly, her glow shifting gently. "I'll be coordinating the rerouting patterns with the data you provide." Some coworkers rolled their eyes or exchanged smirks. Trent, the human who had mocked her before, leaned back in his chair. "Well, let's see if the glowing girl can actually do something useful," he said under his breath, loud enough for a few others to hear. Lyra's glow flickered with irritation, but she took a deep breath and focused on the task. Elias gave her an encouraging nod. "Ignore them," he whispered. "Focus on your work." The project began. Data streams flew across holographic screens, and Lyra's fingers danced across her interface. She quickly detected conflicts in the flight paths that others had missed. Some ships were on trajectories that could have caused dangerous near collisions, and if left uncorrected, would have delayed shipments for days. Lyra proposed her solution carefully. If we adjust the secondary thrusters on these two ships and slightly alter the acceleration vectors here, we can prevent collisions and save time. It will require close monitoring, but it's feasible. The room went quiet. Several coworkers exchanged skeptical looks, muttering under their breath. Trent scoffed. "And how do you know that will work?" Lyra's glow pulsed brighter, not with fear but with determination. "Because I have calculated the trajectories with real-time data adjustments. I can monitor and guide them." Elias stepped forward. "We'll follow Lyra's plan. Everyone implement her adjustments." To the surprise of many, her method worked perfectly. The fleet moved smoothly through the busy space lanes, avoiding conflicts and maintaining their schedule. Some coworkers stared in disbelief, while others quietly took notes. Trent's smug expression faltered, replaced by begrudging respect. "Impressive," Elias said, placing a hand on her shoulder. "You handled that brilliantly. The fleet is on track thanks to you." Lyra's glow softened to a gentle, steady pulse. "Thank you, Captain," she replied, feeling a mixture of pride and relief. Despite the success, the day was far from over. During a short break, Lyra tried to relax in the cafeteria. She hoped her coworkers might acknowledge her skill, but instead, whispers and laughter followed her. "She thinks she's so smart," one alien muttered. "Does she even belong here?" "She's just lucky Captain Elias favors her," another human whispered. Lyra felt a pang of sadness. She had done something incredible, yet many still judged her for being different. She ate quietly, focusing on the small encouragement she had received from Elias instead. When the break ended, the next challenge arrived. The Scifi 5 mining colony had reported a problem. One of the mineral shipments had been delayed due to a meteor storm. The shipment was critical. Without it, several planetary industries would halt. Elias called Lyra aside. "I want you to handle this, Lyra. You're the best candidate for the task." Lyra nodded, her glow flickering nervously. She knew this was another test, not just of her skill, but of her courage under pressure. She began coordinating with the remote teams on Scifi 5, analyzing meteor trajectories and calculating optimal safe paths for the shipment. Hours passed as she worked tirelessly. Her glowing patterns shifted constantly, reflecting her focus, stress, and determination. Other employees tried to distract her, offering unsolicited advice or making snide comments, but she remained calm, her mind on the calculations. Finally, she devised a plan, a new flight path that would guide the cargo ship safely through the storm while minimizing delays. She submitted the plan to Elias, who reviewed it carefully. "This is excellent, Lyra," he said. "You've anticipated the meteor paths perfectly. Execute it." Lyra sent the instructions to the fleet. The ships adjusted their trajectories, weaving through the meteor field with precision. The cargo reached the hub on time, earning a quiet round of applause from a few coworkers who had witnessed the operation. Even Trent, who had mocked her earlier, looked uneasy. "I didn't think she could do it," he admitted quietly to a colleague. By the end of the day, Lyra was exhausted but exhilarated. She had handled two major logistical challenges, demonstrating her talent, intelligence, and calm under pressure. Most importantly, she had gained Captain Elias' full trust and admiration. As she packed up to leave, Elias stopped her. "Lyra, I want you to know that your work today was exceptional. You've shown not only skill but leadership potential. Tomorrow, I'd like you to start leading a small team on a new project." Lyra's glow shifted to a brighter, steadier pattern, her way of showing gratitude and happiness. "Thank you, Captain. I will do my best." She left the hub with a renewed sense of purpose. Walking through the city, she reflected on her day. Yes, some coworkers still bullied her, but she had proven that she was more than her differences. She had skills, intelligence, and determination, qualities no ridicule could diminish. The next morning, Lyra returned to work with a sense of quiet confidence. Her coworkers watched her approach with a mixture of curiosity and suspicion. Some whispered behind her back, but others, who had seen her handle the fleet and the meteor crisis, now regarded her with cautious respect. Elias greeted her at the entrance. "Good morning, Lyra. Ready to lead your team today?" Lyra nodded. "Yes, Captain, I'm ready." Her team consisted of a mix of humans and aliens, some of whom had been skeptical of her abilities. Lyra introduced herself calmly, outlining the project, a high-priority interstellar cargo route optimization that would save time and resources for the company. She noticed some skeptical glances, but she ignored them. She focused on the task, assigning roles based on each member's strengths and guiding them through her plan with clear instructions. Her glowing patterns shifted in subtle waves, signaling focus and calm. As the project progressed, Lyra's leadership became evident. The team worked efficiently, following her guidance. Even Trent, who had mocked her repeatedly, began to respect her decisions as he saw the results. Midway through the day, a new problem arose. An unexpected solar flare threatened to disrupt communications across the fleet. The team panicked, unsure how to handle it. Lyra remained calm. "Adjust the signal relays to the secondary channels," she instructed. "It will stabilize communications until the flare passes. We can still maintain control of the routes." The team followed her instructions, and the communications stabilized. Her coworkers looked at her with a mix of astonishment and respect. Elias observed from his office, smiling. He had known from the start that Lyra had exceptional talent, but seeing her lead a team under pressure confirmed it. By the end of the day, the project was a complete success. Cargo moved smoothly, routes were optimized, and the company saved significant time and resources. Lyra's team praised her quietly, some offering hesitant apologies for their earlier skepticism. As she prepared to leave, Elias met her at the exit. "Lyra, today you showed something important: leadership, courage, and intelligence. You're proving that being different can be an incredible strength. I'm proud of you." Lyra's glow pulsed warmly. "Thank you, Captain. Your support means a lot to me." Walking home, Lyra realized something important. She didn't need everyone's approval. What mattered was her ability to contribute, to solve problems, and to be recognized by those who truly understood her value. And though she had long admired Captain Elias, she now understood that her own strength and brilliance were just as important as her feelings. As the city lights of Nova Arc reflected in her glowing patterns, Lyra felt a sense of quiet triumph. She had survived the bullying, proved her abilities, and gained the respect of those who mattered most. And tomorrow, she would continue to shine. The morning sky over Nova Arc was tinged with orange and violet, casting long shadows over the city's towering skyscrapers. Lyra walked briskly through the bustling streets toward Stellartrans Logistics, her heart steady but her mind alert. Today was unlike any other day at the hub. Today, she would face a challenge that could prove her worth to everyone, once and for all. The hub was in chaos. A fleet of cargo ships returning from a distant mining colony had detected an unknown anomaly near a nearby asteroid field. Reports indicated that pirates had been spotted in the sector, targeting unprotected freighters. If the fleet was attacked, it would result in catastrophic losses: cargo stolen, shipments delayed, and possibly crew members endangered. Lyra's glow shifted with focus and determination. She had trained for complex logistics, but this was more than numbers and paths. This was strategy, timing, and risk, all in real time. Elias met her at the entrance, his calm presence steadying her nerves. "Lyra, I've assessed the situation. I want you to take the lead in coordinating the fleet. You're the best person for this. Are you ready?" Lyra nodded, feeling a surge of confidence. "Yes, Captain, I won't let them down." She entered the control room, where a group of humans and aliens huddled over holographic displays. The room was tense, buzzing with panic and uncertainty. "Lyra," one of the human supervisors said nervously, "the pirates could strike at any moment. Are you sure you can handle this?" Lyra's glow pulsed steadily, a sign of calm control. "We have no choice but to act quickly. I've calculated multiple paths and strategies. If we coordinate our fleet movements and use the asteroid field as cover, we can protect the cargo and avoid confrontation unless necessary." Some coworkers looked doubtful, but Elia's steady gaze reassured them. "Follow her plan, trust her." Lyra began issuing instructions. Each cargo ship had a specific role. Some would act as decoys, others would move stealthily along safer paths, and a few drones would scout ahead for pirate ships. She coordinated with alien and human pilots alike, speaking in precise, clear instructions. Her glow shimmered in controlled waves, reflecting her thought process and alertness. Minutes passed. Then the first sign of trouble appeared on the holographic screens, pirate ships emerging from the asteroid shadows. The room tensed. Lyra remained calm. "Maintain formation," she instructed. "Activate the decoy ships. Lead the fleet along the secondary trajectory I calculated. Drones, keep scanning ahead. We will avoid confrontation if possible, but stay ready." Her team executed the orders flawlessly. The decoy ships drew the pirates toward less critical cargo. while the main fleet slipped through the asteroid field under Lyra's guidance. Her ability to anticipate movement patterns and adjust in real time was unmatched. Trent, who had mocked her relentlessly in the past, now worked closely with her, relaying data and following her instructions without hesitation. I didn't think she could do this, he muttered under his breath, awe in his voice. Lyra didn't respond. Her focus was total. She watched the fleet recalculated trajectories and made split-second adjustments as pirate ships tried to cut them off. Hours seemed to pass in minutes. Each decision had to be perfect. One wrong move could result in disaster. But Lyra's calm control and extraordinary perception allowed her to navigate the fleet safely through the dangerous asteroid field. Finally, the last cargo ship reached the hub's secure docking area without incident. The pirates, frustrated and outmaneuvered, retreated into the depths of space. The room erupted in relief and quiet applause. Elias stepped forward, placing a hand on Lyra's shoulder. "Lyra, you just saved the fleet. Your strategy, your focus, and your leadership, everything was perfect. I'm proud of you." Lyra's glow shifted to a soft, steady pulse, a reflection of her pride and relief. "Thank you, Captain. I couldn't have done it without the team," she said, humility in her voice. Her co-workers, once mocking and dismissive, now approached her cautiously. Some offered hesitant smiles, others nodded in acknowledgement. Trent, finally speaking openly, said, "Lyra, I underestimated you. You're incredible." Lyra blinked, surprised but grateful. "Thank you," she replied softly. Her glow shimmered gently, a subtle smile forming. That evening, after the hub had quieted down, Elias called her into his office. The soft hum of control panels filled the room. "Lyra," he began, "today you proved something important, not just to the company, but to yourself. You have skills, courage, and intelligence that are rare. You've earned respect, and I want you to know that I believe in you completely." Lyra's glow pulsed warmly. "Thank you, Captain. Your trust has meant everything to me." They shared a quiet moment, the hum of the office around them. Lyra's feelings for Elias, which had been quiet admiration until now, felt stronger. But she also understood something important. Her worth was not tied to anyone else's approval. Her courage, brilliance, and ability to rise above challenges were proof enough of her value. Over the next few days, life at Stellartran's logistics changed. Co-workers who had bullied or ignored her began to show respect. Some apologized quietly, acknowledging that she had more skill and insight than they had realized. Lyra led more projects, each more challenging than the last. She found ways to optimize routes, prevent accidents, and even improve interspecies communication in the hub. Her glow, once a source of teasing, became a symbol of her brilliance and reliability. One afternoon, Elias approached her as she finished coordinating a fleet of cargo drones. "Lyra, the company's board wants to recognize your contributions publicly. Your leadership and problem-solving saved millions of credits and countless lives. You've set an example for everyone." Lyra felt a warm glow of pride. "Thank you, Captain. I never imagined this would happen." Elias smiled. "You did more than imagine. You acted, and that's why everyone now sees what I've always known." As the weeks passed, Lyra's confidence grew. She no longer felt the sting of ridicule as sharply. She had proven herself not just to Elias or the company, but to herself. Her glow pulsed softly as she worked, a steady rhythm of calm determination. One evening, as the city lights reflected in her eyes, she found herself walking with Elias through the plaza near the hub. The sky was alive with flying vehicles, glowing advertisements, and stars peeking between the buildings. "You've come a long way, Lyra," Elias said gently. "I've watched you grow, and I couldn't be prouder. You've shown courage, intelligence, and heart. The company and I are lucky to have you." Lyra looked at him, her glow brightening slightly with warmth. "I've learned a lot because you believed in me, Captain. I've always admired you, and now I understand something important. My worth isn't defined by anyone else. It's defined by what I can do and how I rise to challenges." Elias nodded, a smile in his eyes. "That's very wise, Lyra. And I hope you know, your strength inspires me, too." For the first time, Lyra felt completely accepted, not just as an alien among humans, but as someone capable, brilliant, and valued. She realized that love, admiration, and respect could coexist without depending entirely on another person's feelings. Her courage, her intellect, and her integrity were hers, and they had led her to this moment. The city of Nova Arc stretched around them, alive with possibilities. Cargo ships flew across the skyline, drones zipped between buildings, and humans and aliens moved together in coordinated harmony. Lyra's heart swelled with pride. She had faced bullies, navigated crises, and led a team through danger, and she had done it all without losing herself. As she looked up at the stars, she felt a soft glow pulse through her entire being. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, new projects, and new adventures. And she knew she was ready. Lyra had become more than just the alien girl at work. She had become a leader, a problem solver, and a symbol of human and alien collaboration. And most importantly, she had learned to trust in herself, her abilities, and her place in the universe. Elias walked beside her silently, their bond unspoken but strong. Lyra understood that admiration and respect were powerful, and that true connections were built on trust, courage, and shared purpose. That night, as the hub dimmed its lights and the city quieted, Lyra felt a profound sense of accomplishment. She had overcome bullying, proved her worth, and earned recognition from those who mattered. And though her feelings for Elias remained a quiet secret, she no longer needed them to define her. She was brilliant, capable, and ready to face the universe. And with that, Lyra glowed, soft, steady, and bright, ready to shine in a world that had finally begun to see her true value.